Bill O'Reilly here, Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. Many Americans say the country is on the wrong track. The CDC recommending folks stay home over the Labor Day weekend. Congresswoman Omar moves to replace police officers with peace officers. 33% of Americans in their 60s have nothing save for retirement. Also ahead, the Wall Street Journal scorches President Biden. But first, a new survey says 6 in 10 voters believe America is, quote, seriously going down the wrong track. The poll from Morning Consult and Political shows 61% believe the country is heading in a bad direction. The poll also found Joe Biden's approval rating falling to a new low of 47%. At this point in their presidencies, 53% approved of Barack Obama, 40% satisfied with Donald Trump. However, Mr. Trump was under constant siege from the bogus Russian collusion con. The CDC urging Americans to stay home this Labor Day weekend to avoid COVID. Country now witnessing about 160,000 new cases every day, mostly among unvaccinated folks. Labor Day weekend, as you know, is one of the most traveled holidays in the USA. Most popular destination this year seems to be Las Vegas. Now, I'm going to the beach, but I will avoid crowds. COVID is still a menace. Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar urging voters in Minneapolis to support a new measure that would abolish the police department there and create the Department of Public Safety. The proposal appears on the ballot this November. So here are some facts for Ms. Omar, who doesn't really care about facts. Since 2019, murders in Minneapolis up 58%, arson up 54%, car theft 20%, property crimes 55%, assaults against police officers up 62%. All of that after the George Floyd situation. A survey from the Insured Retirement Institute says a third of Americans in their 60s have nothing saved for retirement. Half have less than $50,000 in the bank. Economists say the average person needs $50,000 a year to live in retirement. That means 20 years of taking it easy will set you back $1 million. If you do have some dough, the best places to retire, according to Bloomberg magazine, are Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee. In a moment, more bad news for President Biden. Right back. If you own a home and haven't refinanced, what are you waiting for? Mortgage rates are lower than ever, which means you could easily drop your rate and monthly payment. All you've got to do is call American Financing. Take advantage of a free mortgage review. That's right, it's free, meaning no pressure, no obligation, no upfront or hidden fees. Just a simple conversation with a salary-based mortgage consultant. Someone who's going to listen to you and then give you good advice. Let American Financing help you save up to $1,000 a month. You really cannot afford to miss out. And you can pre-qualify right now by calling 888-462-9557. 888-462-9557. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334 and MLSConsumerAccess.org. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. The Afghan story continues. Yesterday, the Wall Street Journal, the most powerful newspaper in America, scorched President Biden in an editorial. I'll read 2 paragraphs to you. First, quote, President Biden's defiant, accusatory defense on Tuesday of his Afghanistan withdrawal and its execution was so dishonest and so lacking in self-reflection or accountability that it was unworthy of the sacrifices Americans have made in that conflict, unquote, Wall Street Journal. That is a direct attack on Mr. Biden's character. Because if the Wall Street Journal's analysis is accurate, and it looks like it is, Biden simply lied to the world. And now we have a tape that was leaked from an American intelligence outfit that says Joe Biden tried to convince the president of Afghanistan, Ghani, to put a happy face on what was happening with the Taliban. Ghani refused. So Americans are faced with a president who's not only diminished, but maybe blatantly dishonest, as the Wall Street Journal alleges. Here is the second quote from the editorial. Mr. Biden described the evacuation as if it were a triumph, and that his administration had planned for such a contingency in case the Afghan military collapsed. This is literally unbelievable. Multiple media reports have revealed that the White House was caught by surprise and preparing for a vacation en masse when Kabul fell, unquote. Wall Street Journal. That is true. Secretary of State Blinken was vacationing already in the Hamptons. President Biden was taking a little R&R in Camp David. They weren't in the Situation Room planning to defend Afghanistan or putting forth a cogent plan to get Americans and the people in Afghanistan who helped us out of the falling country. So what we have here is a disaster for America and a diminished president, as I said. The question now becomes, can Joe Biden keep control of this country? His credibility has taken a massive blow. The Washington Post, which almost begged voters to support Biden in last November's election, crushed him over Afghanistan. However, the largest liberal paper, the New York Times, has been largely silent on the editorial front. Why? Because the New York Times makes all its money from liberal readers. So they put money, profits, over the welfare of the country. One more thing. President Biden is not going to make a comeback. He is simply not up to the job. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. For more honest news analysis, please visit BillO'Reilly.com. My book, Killing the Mob, remains a potent seller. I hope you check it out. In a moment, something you might not know. My trusted technology research executive, Jeff Brown, has a must-see video out right now called The Great Reset. This reset has been in the works since 2015. Now the circumstances are just right, and it appears to be coming to fruition. So please pay attention, because in Jeff's briefing, he will show us exactly what's going on, the proof, and how we can best prepare. He'll also give us the name of an investment he believes we must own if we hope to have any chance at preserving our hard-earned cash. In fact, if you buy it soon, he's convinced you could be one of the select few Americans who could see their nest egg double just from this one single asset. We may be about to witness the greatest financial shift in the history of America with the Great Reset. So, prepare now. Go to jeffbrowntech.com. That's jeffbrowntech.com. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. On this day, 76 years ago, Imperial Japan formally surrendered to the USA, United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union, officially ending the Second World War. Less than 1 month before, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japanese Emperor Hirohito called it quits shortly after the bombing, telling his subjects on the radio, quote, "The enemy has begun to employ a new and most cruel bomb, the power of which to do damage is indeed incalculable." It was the first time many Japanese had ever heard the voice of the emperor, who was considered a god in Japan. In reality, he was a mortal fool. The Pacific Theater of World War II ranks as the most destructive event in human history. Between 1937 and 1945, more than 30 million people were killed across Asia and the Pacific, including 26 million civilians, mostly during the brutal Japanese occupation of China and Korea. Roughly 115,000 Americans would die in the conflict, another 250,000 wounded. The atomic bombs destroyed 10 square miles in seconds, killing 200,000 Japanese citizens on the spot and many thousands of others later on. World War II is the most violent event in history. 4% of the world's entire population wiped out. 80 million deaths, more than 60 million European civilians displaced, 27 million leaving their countries or driven out by force. And here's something else you might not know. The global conflict, which ended on this date, also sparked one of the most shameful policies in U.S. history. Beginning in February 1942, President Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, creating military bases to house Japanese Americans living in the USA. FDR viewed anyone of Japanese descent a direct threat to national security. The camps would hold 120,000 people, U.S. citizens. The Supreme Court ultimately ruled that U.S. citizens could not be detained due to cultural descent. The final camp was closed in March 1946, 6 months after the Japanese surrendered to the Allied forces. Back after this. Are you looking for your next investment? Bill O'Reilly here. There are 7 reasons to look at the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund. Monthly cash flow payouts of 10% annualized. Bonuses to 21% targeted. They strategically locate in lower risk, high demand areas people want to move to. New construction is short on supply. Real estate affords diversification and safety from stock market risk. Their short and long-term strategy provides for steady returns right now. NRIA is an industry leader with a 15-year proven track record. So, if you've been sitting on the sidelines or want to diversify, start your due diligence at nria.net. Or you can call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.